Have you ever noticed that the most intelligent people often prefer to spend time alone? Not because they're antisocial, not because they can't connect with others, but because they've discovered something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. They've realized that solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. This unsettling truth was understood deeply by philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, who believed that true independence of thought only flourishes in silence. Solitude, he argued, is not an escape, but the foundation for originality, creativity, and wisdom. In this article, we'll explore why some of history's greatest minds deliberately chose solitude, and why this choice reveals a form of intelligence that society often misunderstands. If you're intrigued by these insights, consider subscribing for more explorations into philosophy and the hidden truths of human nature. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the most provocative philosophers of the 19th century, lived much of his life deliberately apart from society. While others sought recognition, wealth, or approval, he structured his days around long solitary walks, quiet reading, and hours of uninterrupted thought. To many of his contemporaries, this lifestyle seemed strange, even unhealthy. But for Schopenhauer, solitude was not a withdrawal from life. It was a commitment to truth. By stepping away from the constant noise of social expectations, he discovered insights into human behavior, creativity, and consciousness that continue to challenge people today. His choice was radical, not because it rejected humanity, but because it revealed a deeper, more independent way of engaging with it. Most people spend their lives chasing social validation, whether through approval from friends, acceptance within groups, or alignment with popular opinion. This constant pursuit creates the illusion of connection, but it often comes at the expense of independent thought. Schopenhauer argued that the majority of people unconsciously sacrifice originality in order to fit in, a process he described as intellectual suicide. The truth is unsettling. When we're in groups, even small ones, our thinking shifts. Instead of exploring bold or uncomfortable ideas, we monitor social dynamics, avoid conflict, and seek harmony. Over time, our authentic voice is replaced by echoes of the collective. For Schopenhauer, solitude was the antidote. By stepping away from the pressures of conformity, intelligent individuals preserved the freedom to think clearly, honestly, and without compromise. Schopenhauer's first great insight about solitude was its role in preserving intellectual independence. He observed that the moment we enter a group, our full mental capacity is compromised. Part of the mind turns away from pure thought and begins managing impressions, seeking approval, avoiding conflict, or adjusting to unspoken social rules. What feels like harmless interaction is, in fact, a constant drain on originality. Truly intelligent people recognize this subtle cost. They understand that while conversation and collaboration have value, too much of it erodes clarity and depth. In solitude, they are free from the invisible strings of social influence. Their thoughts unfold without censorship, without the need to please or conform. For Schopenhauer, solitude was not about rejecting society altogether. It was about carving out a sacred space where independent thinking could flourish, a mental laboratory where the mind could explore ideas untouched by the will of the masses. There is a vast difference between being alone because one cannot connect and being alone because one chooses to. Schopenhauer emphasized this distinction, calling it the art of solitude. For those who cultivate a rich inner world, solitude is not emptiness. It is abundance. Most people fear being alone because silence exposes their inner void. Without constant stimulation, they feel restless, anxious, or even depressed. But intelligent individuals approach solitude differently. They fill it with books, deep reflection, creative work, and philosophical exploration. Their own minds become a source of fascination, providing endless engagement without the need for external validation. Schopenhauer argued that true happiness is not found in constant company, but in the ability to enjoy one's own presence. To such individuals, solitude feels less like exile and more like home. It becomes a chosen environment where imagination, insight, and personal growth flourish. History shows that many of humanity's greatest breakthroughs were born not in crowded halls, but in the silence of solitude. Newton developed the laws of motion during his quiet retreat from the plague. Einstein formed the theory of relativity in long periods of solitary thought. Darwin shaped the theory of evolution after years of reflective study and isolation. Schopenhauer himself built his philosophy in the same way. These achievements reveal a powerful truth. Originality thrives when the mind is free from collective influence. In solitude, thinkers are not bound by what others deem reasonable, practical, or acceptable. They can pursue questions that seem odd, irrelevant, or even impossible to the world around them. This independence demands courage. To follow one's own thoughts into uncharted territory is to risk misunderstanding, criticism, or failure. Yet for the intelligent individual, the possibility of discovery outweighs the comfort of conformity. Solitude becomes the birthplace of genius. Schopenhauer recognized that mental energy is finite. Every conversation, meeting, or social engagement demands cognitive resources, not just to process information, but to navigate unspoken rules, emotions, and social dynamics. For most people, this energy drain goes unnoticed, but the truly intelligent understand its cost. Choosing solitude is a strategic decision to protect this precious resource. By limiting casual social interactions, they preserve focus, creativity, and intellectual stamina. Depth is prioritized over breadth, and meaningful engagement takes precedence over superficial connection. This careful management of attention allows solitary thinkers to devote themselves to work, study, and reflection without distraction. Social interactions are not avoided entirely. Rather, they are chosen deliberately, ensuring that engagement is enriching rather than draining. In this way, solitude becomes not only a refuge, but a tool for maximizing intellectual and creative potential. Solitude offers more than focus, it provides perspective. Schopenhauer observed that those who spend time alone gain the ability to see patterns in human behavior that remain invisible to those immersed in constant social engagement. They notice recurring dynamics, trivial pretenses, and unconscious motivations that drive most interactions. This clarity is not misanthropy. It is understanding. By stepping back from the social drama, intelligent individuals can observe life objectively, recognizing what truly matters and what is merely noise. Such insight often comes at a cost. Once one perceives these patterns, it becomes harder to participate unconsciously in social rituals. Yet, the reward is intellectual honesty and authenticity. Solitude allows them to trade superficial comfort for a profound understanding of human nature and the freedom to live and think in alignment with it. For Schopenhauer, solitude was never an escape from the world. It was preparation for engaging with it more profoundly. By withdrawing temporarily, intelligent individuals develop the depth, creativity, and wisdom necessary to contribute meaningfully when they choose to re-engage. They do not reject humanity. They cultivate the insights, originality, and understanding that society often cannot provide. Solitude becomes a space to refine thought, explore ideas, and develop a rich inner life. When they return to social interaction, it is not out of necessity or dependence, but from a place of conscious choice, inner fullness, and intellectual readiness. The intelligent person who chooses solitude is often misunderstood, even feared, because they operate beyond the norms of social dependence. They are not antisocial, lonely, or damaged. They are cultivating the conditions for original thought, deep understanding, and meaningful contribution. Schopenhauer revealed that true genius and insight emerge not from constant engagement with others, but from sustained periods of solitary reflection. Solitude allows minds to explore uncharted ideas, develop philosophical clarity, and access forms of intelligence that society rarely fosters. Next time you encounter someone content in their own company, remember, they are not running from the world. They are running toward a deeper, more powerful form of human intelligence.